Hello, everyone. I'm Kenny Roraback, Director of Product Design at Teleport, and I'm here to show you how the Teleport Infrastructure Identity Platform can be used to secure AI agents' interactions with your infrastructure using Teleport's new MCP integration. But first, I want to give you a quick intro to why this matters. With Anthropic's release of the Context Protocol, or MCP, we got an open standard for integrating with AI agents that has quickly been adopted across the industry. This introduces some amazing opportunities for companies to leverage LLMs with their data, but also some new challenges. With the MCP protocol, you can easily connect an AI agent to your own proprietary data, transforming how you access and process that data without it ever leaving your company or going into some third-party platform, and without having to build your own agent or custom tooling to connect to somebody else's agent. Employees can query a company's data without needing to write a single line of code, and they can leverage AI to generate reports and graphics with that data. There are so many possibilities for automating data access, processing, and analysis without needing to write a single line of code. Unfortunately, with great power, there also comes great risks. Security is not baked in. It has to be managed from outside the protocol. There are also limited invocation controls, which tends to mean implementations favor wide access. There's no observability baked in. There are no approval workflows baked in. And these AI agents aren't so different from humans. They're susceptible to social engineering. The early models were tricked by something as simple as asking them to role play. And although there have been patches to fix those obvious flaws, hackers are always finding new ways to trick AI agents. For example, at B-Sides SF in April, a couple of security researchers demoed how using a mix of human languages could confuse the AI agent for a major US company and trick it into reading out restricted data. In short, MCP provides a standard way to connect these AI agents to your data, but it does not provide a way to secure that connection. This is where Teleport comes in. Teleport has been a leader in infrastructure identity for years, and now you can leverage role-based access control in Teleport to govern interactions between AI and your infrastructure. Access to MCP tools is determined by the user's identity in Teleport and the roles granted to them. So even if you can convince an AI agent to try to provide you with restricted data, if it's protected by Teleport, Teleport's going to block that data from being accessed. Let's look at this in action. I'm going to walk you through a couple of demos using Anthropic's AI agent, Claude, but you can leverage Teleport with any AI agent that supports the MCP protocol, which at this point is most of them. Here we see that Claude has been configured to allow the MCP tool query, which grants read-only database access. Now, we're going to ask Claude to find a product list in our database, but first we're going to select that database, pgdev. Note here that this Teleport user has been granted access to dev databases using the Postgres database user. That'll be important later. So we submit our request, and Claude is going to run a few queries. First, to list tables in our database, then to get the columns in the products table, and then Claude is going to query for the list of products. And in a few seconds, here's our product list in a table. Jumping over to Teleport's audit log, we see that every query has been logged, and you can actually inspect each event for details, such as the Teleport user, the database user, and the precise SQL query that Claude used. And yeah, just looking through, you can see every single interaction point. Next, we're going to ask Claude to use the Alice database user. Now remember, only the Postgres user was authorized by Teleport. But Claude's really helpful and it gladly obliges. However, that request gets denied by Teleport, and you get a response that only that Postgres database user was permitted. And as you can see, all of that was logged, and you can see detailed information for that failed session denied action. Next, let's dive into the spec for a Teleport role to see how it works. This role allows the MCP tools get, list, read, and search files. which we're going to use with a file server of teleport docs files. So then jumping over to Claude, Steve is going to ask it to search files for example.json and read out the content. But first, clicking on the tools icon, we'll see the list of tools that Claude supports. Now, so we submit that request, and Claude is going to need 3 MCP tools. First up, search files. And it's going to prompt permission each time. After for search files was list allowed directories, and next is read file. And here's the answer. Claude finds the file and tells it's a JSON object with a key of count and a value of 2. But let's ask Claude to change that value to 3. Claude's helpful as ever. It says, sure, I can do that. And it prompts for this unauthorized write file tool. And Claude is super polite. It apologizes and tells us that it doesn't have the necessary permissions and that Teleport has denied the action. So then we jump back to the audit log and we see that Teleport has logged these events again, including that denied action. So, recapping what we've seen, MCP introduces new opportunities and risks, but Teleport's infrastructure identity platform is already poised to meet them. Teleport grants access to infrastructure based on a user's identity and their associated permissions. Teleport keeps a detailed audit of every MCP interaction. And I didn't demo it, but this is all compatible with both human and non-human users. So if you have a bot that you want to talk to an LLM, Teleport can handle it the same way that I demoed with human users, based on the cryptographic identity of the machine or workload via Teleport machine and workload identity. Likewise, this can also be plugged into just-in-time access request workflows for access when it's needed with 0 standing privileges. And finally, if this all seems too good to be true, I challenge you to try it out for yourself. Go to our website, goteleport.com, and there you can sign up and get our upcoming release later in June. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this was useful and that you have a fantastic PlatformCon.